My screen.
I'm sharing your screen.
Okay, fine. I hope you already received this PDF, right, regarding the course content. Okay, so
Can
here,
you? No, I think I missed this one. Can you send again later?
sure, I'll send it with you.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so here again, it's E3D admin course. So very first part, we will be going through some of the introductions. Okay,
Okay.
so more like intro topics. What is an administrator? What is the roles and responsibilities of an administrator, E3D administrator? Okay, and then little bit history of admin module and E3D application. Okay, and then we will be discussing in the introduction only. We will be discussing about the environment setup. Okay, how to set up the environment accordingly for our project needs. Okay, and we will be discussing about some of the concepts related to environmental variables that we need to set for our project locations, or if we are doing any customizations with respect to PML, right?
Yeah.
So, or any kind of automations if we are doing, how to set up the libraries and how to set up the environmental variables, we are going to discuss. Okay, and then we will also be discussing in E3D project there will be several folders, right? You will be having 000 folder, defaults folder, Mac, ISOPIC and all, right? So have you
Yeah.
ever seen folder structure of a project, E3D project, anytime?
Yeah. Earlier I worked, so
Okay,
I
yeah,
have idea.
yeah,
But anyway, we'll start first. No issue.
yes. So every folder does have its own you know meaning. Okay, why that folder is there. Okay, there is some reason why that folders are created, and each folder does have its own reasons. Okay, we will discuss what are those folders for and what is the use case of those folders. Okay, then on that note, we will be covering in the admin course, we will be covering several modules. Like we will be starting off with admin module, Aveva administration application or administration module, where in which we will be covering how to create a new project. Okay, how to set up a new project and starting from the scratch. And then we will be discussing about the key terminologies like admin elements, how to create teams, users, how to create databases, and how to assign the databases to particular team and users. What is the relationship that exists between a team, user, and a database? Okay, and how to include the databases which are available in other projects. If in case if you have any catalog project where in which all your standard catalogs are kept, and you don't want to create them again and again, right? And in that case, if you wanted to bring that catalog databases from any of the catalog project to your local project, okay, how to do that. Okay,
Okay.
and then what is the concept of MDB? You might be aware, whenever we are logging into E3D any module, you have to select the MDB, otherwise it won't allow you to log in. So what is the concept of MDB, how to create them, and why, and what are all the several factors you need to consider while creating an MDB. Okay, and then we will also be studying about extract database concepts. Okay, what is an extract database and how to create an extract, and what are all the several concepts related to extract databases. And apart from that, we will be also studying all the regular maintenance activities, like how to do the maintenance for the databases regularly. What are all the checks that we need to do in order to avoid corruptions in the databases, fatal errors in the databases. Okay, and then how to do database backtracking, database merging. Okay, merging of the sessions. Okay, how to kill a phantom user from the application. Okay, if at all, if any user is logged in and it is not available in his machine, the application is not actually running in his machine, but somehow that record is still there. Okay, how to kill that phantom users from the application. Okay, we will be discussing several things in the admin module related to that stuff. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
and then there is another admin module called as Lexicon module, where in which again Lexicon module will be used for Aveva E3D and Aveva diagrams and Aveva engineering as well. Whereas in this course, we will be restricting ourselves to the use cases of Lexicon with E3D application. Okay, we will not be taking up remaining topics which are related to engineering or Aveva diagrams. So we will be studying the concepts specific to E3D. So we will be studying lexicon group, how to create it, how what is UDA, what is USDA, okay, what is UDET, and how to add a UDA with respect to component. Okay, so in a nutshell, we know every element or every entity is an element in E3D, right? In the Explorer, you will see pipe, zone, site, branch, and for every element, you will have dedicated set of attributes. right? Name, description, function, purpose, etc. So in case those are all the system defined predefined attributes. So in case if you wish to add extra attributes, okay, apart from the system defined attributes, if you want to add extra attributes, then how to do that we will be studying in the lexicon module. Okay, and then how to create a UDET. By default everything is an element, like pipe is an element, zone is an element, structure is an element, right? So like that, in case if you wish to create a new element type in E3D, how to do that we will be learning in the lexicon module.
Okay.
Okay.
Understand.
Yeah. And then comes Paragon module. So again, in the Paragon module also there are several disciplines like piping, equipment, structures, cables, and supports. So in this course, we will be mainly focusing on piping catalogs. Okay.
Okay.
So we will be learning. We will not be studying any structural catalogs or cable catalogs. Okay, or support modeling or support customization. We will be studying only with respect to piping catalog creation, like all pipe or any type of piping components like valves or instruments or any fittings. Okay, and then once we learn how to build the geometry for the catalogs, and then we will be learning what is a pipe specification and what are all the several aspects that we need to study with respect to pipe specification while creating it. Okay, and then we will learn how to add the components into the pipe specification. Okay, and
This
then
is only for piping only it's available, but you are going to explain only
no.
for.
See, in this course we are going to explain only with respect to piping, but in the Paragon we will have several disciplines. Like in the design also we have several disciplines, like we have equipment discipline in the drop down, you have structures discipline separate, you have cable discipline separate, right? In the similar way, in the Paragon also we have several disciplines for creating the catalogs. Okay, so every discipline there is a different way of creating the catalogs.
Okay, because I'm
So
basically from structural, but just I want to know about the at least basic idea of structural related something.
okay, but okay, in this course we will be taking at least I'm from piping background, so I'm not much aware
Yeah,
of the
that's okay.
structural
That's I can
catalog
understand.
creation.
I
Yeah.
understand. Okay, let's
So
check it.
yeah, you can just check with Ritesh once on this part. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, so then we will be learning how to create a part world, part families.
Okay.
Okay, and those things we will be learning in the Paragon. And there is one more module called as Specon, and for Specon there is no separate module available as such in E3D, but it's a mode in fact. Okay, so using that mode in older versions of PDMS and all, people used to create the specifications. It's like kind of macro, so they won't use any user interface. Directly they will write some lines of lines in the notepad or in the text file, and they will run it and it will create the spec for us. Okay, so what we used to use, but now we do have something called a specification form. So using that form we are going to create everything. Okay, using the form is very easy than writing a text in the file. Okay, but I'll show both the methods. Okay, how to develop such text file and how to use that text file to create a specification, but that is also with respect to piping specification.
Yeah. Okay. Understood.
So yeah, and then comes, we will be again, if you are from structural background, I doubt you might be aware of isodraft. So isodraft is module which we use to create the pipe isometrics.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, so as a administrator, general administrator is the one who is going to set option files, set up and all the customizations, how we want to draft the isos.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is what we are going to study in the isodraft setup. Okay, and then in the draw module, again there are several administration setup we need to do before we start using draw module, like setting up the system defaults, draw list libraries, representation styles, representation rules. So many things are there. Okay, so did you ever work in draw module for extracting
Yeah.
electronics?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Okay. So you would have observed some colors, coloring will be coming there, right? When you extract a drawing.
Yes.
So
Correct.
section will be in some color, and then equipment will be in some other color, piping will be in some color. So such kind of rules we are going to study, and you will be placing some tags on the elements. So there should be a template that you will be selecting while creating such tags, right? So how to create that tagging templates, okay, label templates, and then visual styles with respect to dimension styles, label styles. Okay, so view styles. Okay, we are going to study in the draw module administration stuff. Okay, system defaults, tag rule styles. 2D symbology representation is again one more concept. So where we will be linking some of the concepts with respect to Paragon and draw module together, and then we will be implementing that thing. Okay, as part of 2D symbology representation. Okay, so overall these are all the different modules we are going to cover. Very important is admin module and then lexicon module, both because they both fall under Aveva admin application, right? So then we will be moving to Paragon, where in which we will be studying catalogs and specifications, and then isodraft module, where we will be learning how to set up the option file for extracting the pipe isometrics with all the necessary settings and customizations what we can do there, we will be learning. And then finally we will be coming to draw module, and in the draw module there are several administration activities like setting up the system defaults, user defaults, and then all relevant libraries what we need for the project execution. Okay, so everything we will be creating, and we will be learning how to create them. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
and then comes PML. So again, E3D is again it's a software and it's an application. It can be customized using either PML, which is called as programmable macro language, or we can also use C#. Okay, C# is a .NET framework language. Using any of these two programming languages, we can automate or we can customize the software as per our requirements. See, by default, Aveva does provide a lot of features, out of the box features, but there will be few scenarios where you would like to automate some of the tasks based on your company's requirements or your project requirements. So in that case, people do use PML, programmable macro language. So some of the daily day-to-day tasks, what users are doing and which is taking more time or more manual effort you are putting for that task, which can be automated. Okay, so such type of tasks and all, we will be using PML language and we will be automating such tasks so that productivity will increase.
Okay. Yeah, this is based on the C# or on the
PML is completely independent language. It's not related to anything related to C#. Okay, it's a separate language, and PML is one such language which can be used only on E3D products or Aveva products, I can say. Okay, yeah, PML we cannot use in any other areas. Okay, it is just works with Aveva products.
Okay.
Whereas C# is a independent language, high level language. Okay, using C# also we can customize E3D. Okay, but C# can be used for external applications as well, any other web applications and all also. It's a open source language.
Okay.
Whereas PML is specific to Aveva products. We cannot use PML on any other places. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then there are two varieties of PML, PML1 and PML2. So PML1 is a old style. Okay, but it is still valid. It is not obsolete. It is still valid. Still, we can use PML1 syntaxes and we can customize the application. But PML2 is advanced version of PML1. Okay, where in which PML2 implements object-oriented programming concept. Okay, OOPS model. Okay, so OOPS model we can implement using PML2. Okay, that's the reason most of the customization we are going to do in PML2.
Yeah.
Okay. We can create some objects. We can create some functions. We can write some form. We can develop some forms. Okay, so anything we can do using PML2. Okay, so the basic difference between PML1 and PML2 is PML2 is a robust and it will be having the capabilities to implement object-oriented programming. Okay, whereas PML1 cannot implement object-oriented programming.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. Then comes, we will be having several topics like all from the scratch. We will be learning what is a PML variable, how to define the variable, what are all the several object types available, and how to create our own object types if needed, and then how to write a function, and then what is the concept of arguments. Then we will be studying how to write a PML macro. Okay, then there is a special character called as dollar in the PML syntaxes. So what is the use case of that special character and how do we use that further in our programming? Then control logics, basically if else constructs, okay, if conditions. So at times when we are developing the logic, we will have to definitely take some decisions based on some outputs. if this happens, then what I should do. If this doesn't happen, then also what I should do, right? So in such kind of scenarios, we will be using if-else conditions. Okay. And we have iterative structures called as do loops. So do loops are loop. When I say loop, we know, right? It will happen again and again until we stop. Loop, when we say, right? So if at all, if there is any such task wherein which we want to run a same code repetitively, okay, up to certain times, certain number of times until certain criteria is met, okay, then in that case we will be using or creating iterative structures called as do loops. So in other programming languages there are several other loops like do, for, while, okay, for each, whereas in PML we have only one such loop. Okay. So then comes arrays. Arrays is also one of the data type where we will be using it to store some data. Okay, so we will be learning it. And then error handling. So while creating a logic or while writing the or while developing any application or developing any developing any program, okay, it is important or necessary to handle the errors whenever the users are executing that particular program. That we should not give some random errors, right? We should handle that errors and we should give a warning messages in a proper way. So that is called as error handling. Okay, we will be learning how to handle the errors while writing PML programming language, and this concept is very common to every programming language, not only in PML, any programming language you take. Okay, so we will be depending upon error handling, because we don't want to throw some random errors to the end user who is using the application. Okay, so it should show some meaningful error or warning so that user will understand, okay, what is going wrong. Okay, so that is what we are going to learn in the error handlings. And then handling files. So using PML, how are we going to export certain data from E3D to outside? It may be any file format, maybe a text file or maybe a CSV file or maybe a XML file or maybe an Excel file. Okay, how are we going to write the data and how are we going to export it as a file? And similarly, if at all, if any external file is there, how are we going to import it and how are we going to process that data in a E3D application? Okay, so we are going to learn as part of handling files. Okay, and then we will be writing PML forms. So PML form is user interface. So whenever we are developing any code, user interface backend is very much important. Similar way, front end is also very important. So without front end, user will not be able to use the logic what you have written in the backend, right? So form in the sense front end, okay, which means you will be developing some UI, fluent UI, like with some buttons, text boxes, okay, so radio buttons and all. User will be selecting all the data and they will click apply or they will click run, whatever. Okay, then automation will start or the task gets executed. Okay, so something like that will fall under forms. Forms is basically front end. Okay, we will be learning how to create forms, what are all the several gadgets available in the form, how to use those gadgets. Okay, all those things we will be learning as part of form related customization. And then we will be also giving you a little overview on .NET customization, which is C# customization. Okay, so there is a concept called as PML.NET. So which means we can actually integrate both PML and C# language. Okay, so that is possible by using the DLL or the extension that is already given by Aveva. We don't have to do anything, but we just have to import that already given add-in, and by importing that, we will be able to integrate PML. Some part of the code you can write in PML, some part of the code you can write in C#, and at the end we can club both of them and execute it. So that is possible. So how to do that, we are going to study as part of PMLNet overview and PMLNet callable classes. Okay, and then using C#, okay, so we will be able to also access the E3D databases. Okay, so even without even opening the project, okay, we can create something called as a standalone application. Okay, like an EXE. Okay, so if you double click on the EXE, what it does, maybe like everyday extraction of some reports, something like that. So without even launching the E3D application, so we will be able to run a standalone application. We will be able to log into the product and we will be able to interact with the databases, and we will be able to do some task, maybe creating a new element or modifying the existing element or getting just an output of the actual data, like attribute data or any kind of data. Okay, so those things we will be learning as part of the .NET customization. So database interface and what is DB element, how to create a DB element, and how to update the attributes of the elements using the C# language. And we will be learning how to delete an element, create an element, and how to modify some of the element properties.
Okay.
So these are the different topics that we are going to learn as part of PML course. And then these are the several topics which we are going to learn as part of admin uh, course.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Got it, right? So in case if you feel any topic has to be added, okay, I will share this PDF with you anyways, and just go through it. And if in case if you want any concept can be added in any of the module, if you feel already we have ordered all the necessary things which are required for the administration things. Okay, but if you
Okay.
feel anything has to be added, okay, you can let us
Sure.
know.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah. And then yeah, this is the just an overview. So let me